everybody, and I hope you are fit and well this morning. And it's Bobble Gob 51. I can't believe we had 50 last week. I feel like I'm getting really, really old. So what have you been up to this week? What sort of a week have you had? I have had a bonkers week. It's been really, really, really busy. I'm exhausted. And yeah, just feeling lots and lots of different things. I've had to be super organised this week with lists and just trying to get things done. So yeah, it's been really, really busy. So we've got, actually, for the first time, no wind and beautiful blue skies in Brighouse today. It looks lovely. So that bit bodes well, making you feel a little bit better, getting your vitamin D. I hope everybody's okay. If you were in the storms that were in the UK, I hope you're safe and well. I hope you didn't get too much damage or anything worse. You can't predict the weather. We were expecting it in Brighouse, but like Brighouse is, it's always totally different from everywhere else, and it was just a bit wet and a little bit breezy. But I know from seeing on the TV and things, it was definitely worse than that, particularly over in Ireland and Scotland and on the coast and everything. So if that has hit you, I hope you are okay. So what we've been doing? So I've been really, like I said, been really, really busy. So this weekend was lovely. Went over to Garstang. So Linda and Rebecca, thank you, over at Creative Thread Workshops. Linda and I worked out that it was our 10th year of me going over there and doing workshops. It's probably one of the first places that I went to do workshops. I met Linda at Art in the Pen when I first started my crazy journey. And she invited me over to do a workshop, and that was when I was teaching my paper collage workshops and stitch. But it totally evolved. So this weekend we did our print and stitch little miniature boxes with a little bobbin and a little scroll inside, and it was so lovely to meet to see some familiar people and also some new people as well. And we had such a gorgeous day printing. You don't tend to get everything finished in a workshop, because when I do my workshops, I do like them to be nice and chilled and relaxed, because you're having a day out. It's a day out for you to go and do some stitching and sit and chat, and we always get cake, which is delicious. And I go through everything and people can work at their own pace, but it was lovely that a couple of people sent me pictures of their boxes. They'd taken them home and they'd finished them. So it's lovely that they don't become a PhD, a project half done. And a couple of hardcore people did both workshops. So the second day we did vintage hangings, which again, that's just such a chilled workshop. Just stitching, just because you want to stitch. And again, it was such a lovely day. So Creative Threads Workshops, they do some lovely workshops, and that's in Garstang. So that was quite nice, just going over the hill. I'm glad that the wind had definitely calmed down by the time I drove over. I did go to Garstang once when we were in a hall that was next to a little cricket ground. And it was raining during the day, and we just watched the water just filling up the field. And I can remember driving to the place I was staying, and the roads were just flooded. It was quite scary, actually, driving like your car through a flood, especially when somebody else is coming the other way and they don't stop. That's even more annoying. So anyway, that was a lovely, lovely weekend over in Garstang, and I've just been really busy since I've come back. So it was unpacking everything, trying to keep my shed tidy, and obviously, I mean, I've now given quite a few shout-outs recently to the Textile East Fair, which is on the 15th and 16th of February. It's not that long, which is a bit worrying. So I've still got quite a lot to do in preparation for that. So that's at the Burgess Hall in St Ives. Not St Ives down in Cornwall. St Ives over on the east. Yeah. Sorry, just thinking about a compass in my head, which way things go around. It's a lovely, lovely show. So if you are over that way and you pop in, please pop by and say hello. There's usually some really, really good stands. If you go and have a look on their Instagram, Facebook, I think they've been doing quite a lot of shout outs to all the different people that are going. There's usually some exhibitions to see, and there is a little cafe that comes in and does a pop-up cafe. So that's a lovely, lovely couple of days down there. So I'm really looking forward to that. Robert's coming with me, Mr. B. So that'll be good. Nice weekend away. So that is, I don't know what I'm working towards. It's been a bit bonkers. So yesterday, I had a proper talky day yesterday. So Monday, I was in my shed most of the day on my own. And obviously, unless I'm talking to myself, which I have noticed that I do start doing quite a lot, I am on my own all day. So yesterday, I had a very busy day. So I actually popped back into school for a couple of hours yesterday to give my friend Alexis a bit of a help with the Year 13 textiles, give him a bit of a kick up the bum. But it was lovely to see everybody. Then I had lunch with a friend who's had a baby, so baby cuddles. That was absolutely gorgeous. And then I came home. A couple of people from work rang me, so I ended up chatting to them. And then we had our fabricology meeting last night to start planning 2026, which is always very exciting. So I had a full day talking yesterday, which I haven't done in such a long time, and I totally forgot how exhausting it is. So today, apart from talking to you guys, I'm having a quiet day in my shed. So I'm getting all my kits and my templates and stuff like this all sorted. I have updated things on my website shop. There's a bit of a delay with some of the Sheepy Maxi Sweet Treat colours. Hopefully they're going to be in February and I'll be able to get the full colour range restocked. But I have got the full colour range in the Candy Floss if anybody's needing threads. So what's on my list? Yes, so I decided today I was going to be on it like a bonnet. So I was up. I'm still doing my couch to 5k. It's week 2. So I did week 2 run walk today. So I get up and do it first thing in the morning because if I don't, I use excuses all the way through the day not to go and do it. So I've done that this morning. And then I've made 2 different soups. I've put my tea in the slow cooker. I've had a tidy round. And I don't know, I just thought I'd get all that done. So it's not in my head, which means then when I go into my shed, I don't have to think about anything else. So I'm trying to get into a little bit of a routine of doing that in the morning, is just getting all those I hate the word housework, all those little jobs that you need to get done, like just running the vac round and the duster and little bits and pieces. Robert bought me, and never ever thought I'd be really glad I had this, a little robot vacuum cleaner. So one of those little round ones. He bought it. I thought, what a waste of money. But we have him in our bedroom. And it is quite nice in the morning. You get up, make the bed, just lift everything off the floor, press go and just shut the door. And then when you go back in a bit later, he's vacuumed your bedroom. So I do actually quite like it. It's one thing that I don't need to think about. It means I can think, I'll do downstairs, and actually when I come upstairs, miraculously, it's all been done. So that's kind of cute. So yeah, I'm going to be going into my shed this afternoon. So I thought I'd just share with you what I've been doing. So have a quick slurp. So I showed everybody, I think, these designs that I'd been doing. So this really is just showing you the process that I go through when I'm designing my templates. They're always based on my drawings and my observations and things that I've seen and things that I've been influenced by. So these two are bringing together a lot of different things that I have done over the last, it's 2025 now, so 13 years. So some of the things that start off with are like my stylised plants and flowers. So these really do go back to my stitch collages that I started doing right at the very, very beginning. And then as I've gone through the years, I've added other bits and pieces in different templates. So I had a hare in one of my templates. I always love putting feathers in things because that's usually about like my mum and memories. Obsessed with mushrooms and toadstools. Hearts, you all know if you follow my projects, I have to put a heart in a project. Little birds, I've got templates with bees in them. And then the reason that I've done with the circles, the combination of this is I really enjoyed doing the 52 blocks last year, which was this project. So this one. some of the shapes have been taken from this as well. So I really enjoyed the fact that these were all different blocks, and I just thought, oh, sometimes if you've got a template or a piece of embroidery that you're doing, you don't always want to sit and do the whole thing, and sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I thought, well, why don't I take the principle from this and use that within my new template? So I've done them as blocks. So the idea is when you sat doing them, you can just choose a little block and just sit and stitch that on an evening, and you just slowly work your way through it all. So I thought that'd be quite nice to do something with the blocks, and I did do something very similar to this with my lino cuts last year and the designs that I did for that. Then the other thing is the circle. So in my own work I do this thing with a hole within a hole, and I just thought actually to balance out all the straight lines it'd be quite nice to have something that's a circle. And then when I'd done that I thought it'd be quite nice to have like a little image or a picture. So this one is sort of like, it's an earth one, but it's a little bit home and hearts and your plants and flowers and things in the garden and little things like that. And then one of the places that I love to go and I feel probably most at ease and calm is when I go to the seaside. I am a Scorpio, which is a water sign, and when I don't know what it is, when I go to the beach and I'm stood on a beach, just the water, especially if it's a lovely blue day and you've got the sky, the sea, the sand, and especially if you can get yourself stood so you can't see other people on the beach, so it just feels like you're on your own. I just feel so calm. So I thought, oh, well, what I'll do is I'll do a seasidey one. So again, this has pulled out some of the bits and pieces. So I'm obsessed with collecting pebbles. Obviously, you've got waves, you've got the fish under the sea. I've got my little thing here with my little beach huts. And again, something sort of repeat, the little birds. Got a nighttime moth because I thought, oh, I'll do a lighthouse on this one. So I thought, oh, that one's a bit more daytime. This one, you've got the under the sea, on the land and in the sky. So you've got the lighthouse, and these are meant to be like my little quirky seagulls, and a nighttime moth, and then the moon. So what I do then is when I've done these and I've finalised them, they get scanned and I send them to, they're called screens for printing, I think it is, and they do thermofax screens. So they take my design and they put it through a special machine that creates a silk screen, and then I print them. So all my templates, everything I don't send them off and order them in or anything like that. They're all printed individually, one by one. So I got very excited this week when they came, and I've done my first 2 prints because I was just very excited and I wanted to start stitching them. So the way that I'm going to offer these is you can just get the template on its own and you can do your own colourway. But I know when I've done samples, people ask for the same colourway, so I thought, well, I'll do some kits with the same colours in. So this is the seaside one. So I decided rather than doing them on white cotton, I'd do them on an organic cotton. So it's organic linen, I think. Oh, I can't remember. I think it is. But it's quite fine, so I've backed it with some interfacing just to give it a little bit more structure. So this is the first screen that I've pulled. Just didn't come through properly, I think I'd got my fabric a little bit folded, but this is my sample, so it doesn't matter that it's not 100% perfect. So I do it with a blue line, mainly because I just like blue. I think it's because it reminds me of the transfers that people used to do on tablecloths and stuff like that. And the idea is then you cover this with stitching, but you don't have to cover it all. Sometimes it's quite nice to leave some of the lines on there as well, so you don't need to stitch the whole thing. And then I've got a colourway that I've put together. These are Danish flower threads. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're a single-stranded thread, but they're a lovely matte thread. And the idea with these ones, because they're a nice fine one, I'll use these to stitch the outlines and then do little bits of detail. And then I've put together a little selection of the sheepies, the candy floss wools. So those will be my colours for my under the sea. So when I put this together as a kit, it's going to come as a full kit. So there'll be the threads, the Danish threads, the template and needles. Because I know when I've asked people, they say it's quite handy to have needles. So the only thing you'll need really is a pair of scissors. The other one I have started stitching because I just got so excited once I'd printed it. So it's now become my go-to project. So it's my evening project, this. It even went with me to Garstang, so while I was sat in the car I could do a little bit of stitching. So the colourway for this one is, there's two lovely greens, and then so I like to have my pair of scissors in my box, and I just thought the candy floss will come in a little box, which means you can keep everything in it. So you can pop your scissors in, you can pop your threads in, and then you can just wrap it all up and you've got it as a little kit. So I have started stitching this, and I just love it. I just love just being able just to sit, and I'm never prescriptive with what you stitch where. So this is, when did I start this? I think last week. So I spent quite a bit of time. Oh, I didn't realise the sun's come around. Pull the blind down. Joyce feels a bit sad that you're shutting the sun out. So I used the very fine ones and did the outlines first, and then I've done a couple of the longer lines that travel through with a back stitch that's then wrapped, and then I've just started just stitching different areas. So I sort of started up here, but I tend to start bits and then I go like, oh, it's a bit repetitive, so I'll jump over somewhere else. So I was doing my heart and my little bird last night. So let me see if I can get this a little bit closer. So you just make up your stitches. Any type of stitch will do. You can even use stitches that don't really exist. Running stitch, back stitch, chain stitch, blanket stitch, feather stitch seem to be all my favourites. Get going with little French knots on there. And I know I don't provide any embellishments with this, so no beads or anything like that, but there's no reason why you couldn't add other things onto it as well. So I'm loving stitching this. Ideally I want to get them both done for going to St Ives. I have no idea if that's going to happen, so I think what I'm probably going to do is focus on a little swathe of it and then do a little area of the other one, and then I can just keep adding to it as I keep going, because what I don't want to do is rush it and then look back and think, oh, that's just not very good. So yeah, and obviously if you want to add other colours in, you can add more colours in if you want to. You don't have to, like I say, buy them as a kit. I'm going to do them just as printouts. I'm doing them for the St Ives fair, but what I'm planning on doing then is when I come back I will get everything on my website. And I know I said that after knit and stitch, but life just seems to fly by and I can't, I'm a one-woman show, so there's only so much I can do in a week. So I'm going to try and get my shop a bit more up to date. I have been sorting it out a little bit more and trying to get it a little bit more streamlined, but these will come on there after the show. I've said that out loud now, and I've said it on my Wobble Gob, which means then I have to do it, but I have allocated some time in my diary to do that. So these are the new templates for 2025, which is very exciting. And that's really what I'm doing. I'm on it like a bonnet today. This will be what I'm doing this evening. I've decided as well, I'm giving myself the weekend off, so I'm going to go off with Robert in the van on Saturday and Sunday to the coast and go for a bit of a walk and a bit of fresh air, and then on the Sunday, I don't know, he may go for a walk and I just meet him in the van, which means then I can sit all day looking at the sea, stitching, which is my idea of absolute heaven. So even though I'm having a couple of days off, you don't actually have a day off. You still end up doing stuff, but sat looking at the sea doing this will be absolute heaven. So that's it, I think, for this week. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. What else is happening? Yep, PhD days. Project's half done. Fantastic days at the shed. We've got one this Friday, if anybody's nearby. There are 2 places left. And basically, it's just bringing a project along and getting it done. And we do get a lot done on those days. It's surprising. I think because you then prioritise and set the time aside to do it, you do it. So if anybody fancies coming, it's this Friday at the Shed in Brighouse. I know some of you won't be able to get to the Shed in Brighouse. I'm really sorry. But if you are part of the groups, either the Bobbing Along group or the What's Sewing On group, we do have some online sessions. So both groups have access to Tribe Tuesday, which is 3 hours on an evening, where you can come along and stitch. And if you're in the What's Sewing On group, once a month we also have a day a month that is a little bit like that. It's just online with other people. And you're just setting the time aside. I think sometimes that's the hardest thing when you're doing stuff, is setting the time aside to do it. So it means then you've got a reason for doing it. Because if you said to yourself, I'm going to sit all day today and stitch, you'd end up not doing, because you'd get either distracted or you'd feel guilty or whatever. And you shouldn't feel guilty, which takes me very nicely to this week's quote. So I found this one online. I don't know who said it or anything like that, but the quote for today is, if it makes you happy, it doesn't have to make sense to others. And I think that sums up stitching altogether. A lot of people don't understand it. Mind you, I have to say I am a bit guilty of that, because I don't understand why people watch football and things like that. But actually, I should take a leaf out my own book and think, if that makes them happy, it doesn't matter. So today, try and do something that's going to make you happy. A little bit of time for you. Even if that's, I don't know, run yourself a bubble bath. Get a book. Go and have half an hour in the bath. If it makes you happy, doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. So I'm wishing everybody a happy Wednesday, and please stay safe and well. And I might, next Wednesday's Wobble Gob, I might put a few things on at the coast. I might do a little bit of filming, show you what the East Yorkshire coast is like for anybody that's either not been or has got no idea what it's like. Some of you definitely will, but I'm quite looking forward to that. Fresh air, blow the cobwebs away, little bit of stitching, perfect. So make sure you do something today that makes you happy. Mwah. Love, hugs and happy stitching. Ta-da!